Light on Dish TV. Now, just to simplify things, the matter at hand relates to one group of minority shareholders, a little over 10% to be precise. And this group has been saying that some of the corporate governance issues are not being addressed, and they are seeking an EGM to perhaps discuss some of these issues and maybe even suggest changes to the board of directors. Rahul Hingmire, the partner at Ways Legis Law Practice, is with us. Rahul, thanks for joining in. So I'm just clarifying for the viewers that you represent this group of minority shareholders that's seeking the EGM. First things first, on the stock exchange, we do see a filing which says that there is an EGM on the 9th of June. Now, is this EGM going to be discussing the issues that you have raised and that you need discussed around corporate governance? Any clarity?
No, our notice for EGM was sent on 15th May 2023. In response to that, we are yet to hear any update from the board. The current update which you mentioned, which is there on the exchange, that pertains to other EGM requisition, I believe. Our grievances and our requisitions and our resolutions which we have placed in our notice, which are about appointment of 3 directors and removal of 2 directors, are not part of that EGM pertaining meeting. That's the update which I have. That's what I am here to update you all about.
So on the 9th of June, Rahul, the notice, and again we're reading from the exchange filing, that on the 9th of June, one point on the agenda is the approval of the appointment of Ms. Zora Chatterjee as a non-executive independent director of the company. Again, you said that the agenda that you had, the reason for calling the EGM was seeking certain appointments and the removal of certain independent directors. So are we still talking about different things? Were you also seeking the appointment of Zora? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, in our EGM meeting, in our EGM notice, we have placed 3 directors' names. One, Mr. K. Badri Narayan, another Mr. Satish Kumar Yan Mandra, and third, Mr. Jeet Sen Gupta. We have requested for their appointments, and we have also sought for removal of Mr. Shankar Agarwal and Ms. Rashmi Agarwal. These are our requisitions which we have said in our 15th May 2023 letter. Notice to Dish TV board.
So appointment of Ms. Zora Chatterjee is not something that the group that you represent has recommended.
Precisely. I represent 10.15% shareholders of Dish TV, the Minority Investors Association. There are 77 shareholders put together, which holds 18 crore 67 lakhs 34,000 shares of Dish TV. I represent them.
So, Rahul, can you give us names of some of the biggest members of the association, biggest in terms of just the percentage of shareholding that they have in the company? So we have some idea about this group as well.
So the group consists of 77 shareholders, individuals as well as funds. Some of them are domestic as well as international funds. And put together, as they hold 10.15% percentage shareholding, that means they are fairly within the required permitted scope of number of shareholders to put forth this request.
I'm not getting into the legality. Yes, of course, you can seek an EGM because you own more than 10% equity. If I look at the shareholding of Dish TV right now, in terms of the public category, there are lots of domestic and foreign institutions. There's Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. There is BNP Paribas. It seems there's Deutsche Bank Trust. There's some FBI holding over there. And more importantly, there are a couple of lenders, as in the IndusInd Bank holds some equity. I believe HDFC holds some equity, and JC Flowers holds almost 25% equity. These big shareholders, the ones that have a large chunk of equity holding, are they part of your association or not? And if they're not part of your association, what's their stance?
So those who are not part of our association, the JC Flower company which you mentioned, they are not part of our association. We represent several individual shareholders and investors and some of the funds, including Aditya Birla. Our group has come with the requisition on 15 June that makes very clear to the board that we request the 3 appointments of the professionals, and we request to remove 2 removals of independent directors who are long-serving directors on the board. Our grievances also are mentioned pretty clearly in the notice
Yeah.
in terms of questionable investments, the long-term association of directors who are part of other SL group companies, which questions their independence in terms of decision making. We have also raised necessary concerns regarding corporate governance of the board, wherein we have seen the
Yeah,
abuse
Rahul.
of process.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through all of those concerns, and I definitely take that point. Just one question. You did say that, you've written to them on the 15th. There is a 21-day period that is allowed for the EGM to be convened, and, now this letter to the MCA. Can I ask why, we haven't waited for the 21-day period? Is this a preventive measure? Have you not had sort of any kind of acknowledgement of this, request for an EGM?
So precisely, it's a preventive measure. We have seen in past also several other shareholders have sought EGM, and not necessarily all of them have got necessary responses. And in fact, some of the shareholders have written various correspondence and letters also to MC in past also. So we have thought of putting all this together to bring it to the attention of the authority who is supposed to look into these situations to ensure that companies follow due process of law. We have intimated MC about our issuance of EGM notice as well. We have also shared previous complaints and previous correspondence which some of the shareholders from the association had exchanged with MCA. And we have requested MCA to look into this matter and instruct the DISTV's board to go about scheduling this EGM meeting promptly so that this issue can be taken up into discussion, which valid 10.15% shareholders, as per their rights given in the Companies Act, they are exercising. For that, there is no escape, there is no avoidance. Supreme Court judgments, Bombay High Court judgments clarifies this position very squarely.
So legally, any shareholder above holding more than 10% can call for an EGM, and the company is bound to call that EGM. But then 9th of June, EGM is going to be held before that. Suppose in that EGM, the appointment of Ms. Zohra Chatterjee is approved. What is the chance, or are you, if your EGM is held after that, will you be able to overrun that? And what's the probability of 2 EGMs being held in a span of 1 week?
So, as far as our EGM is concerned, we'll get to understand what will be the ultimate decision of the shareholders by way of majority. In the earlier EGM, if that is scheduled, then shareholders will exercise their rights to go about casting the vote in terms of necessary appointments, necessary arrangements. So, each EGM will have its affairs to be conducted and carried out, and accordingly, it will be taken up further. We feel that the EGM notice which we have sent out has a different set of directors, different set of requests. Each will be taken up by each should be taken up by the board independently,
separately,
and by giving
Rahul,
due notice to shareholders as per this.
Rahul, very quick 2 last questions, short questions. One is, have you heard anything from some of the other big shareholders that I named, JC Flowers for one, and a couple of the other big lenders? I mean, these are sizable financial institutions, the IndusInd Bank, HDFC. Have you had any parlays with them? What is their stance on some of the demands that you're raising? And 2, in case the board doesn't take up the EGM, doesn't call for the EGM that you are seeking, what's the legal remedy? Will you be moving court?
Sure, I'll answer the first question. So far, we have not got in touch with anyone, neither anyone has approached our group of investors and shareholders, the 77 shareholders I refer to. So therefore, I'll not be able to share much of what other shareholders, regardless of their size, which they hold in terms of their shareholding in the company, what would be their action plan. As far as our subsequent steps, our notice very clearly states that if within 21 days we don't receive necessary communication from the board regarding the scheduling of this meeting, then we will be exercising our rights, which we have very clearly mentioned in our notice also. And it is given under the frame of Companies Act as well. The 10.15% shareholders can proceed to issue necessary notices to other shareholders, and we can proceed to conduct our EGM as well. We'll have to
and this will have to take place within 3 months.
After that, we have to give 14 days prior notice from the date of the meeting, proposed date of the meeting. So within that time frame, we can go about doing the necessary EGM. But we hope that DISH-TV board will do the needful in terms of the requisition which we have placed, which is very valid, very much clear, and within the framework of law.
Got it.
And that situation will not come in, but we are prepared for that situation if required.
Rahul, we'll leave the discussion here for now. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll slip into a very short break. On the other side, the management of Kaveri